That deodorant in your medicine cabinet right now is not what it used to be. I spent 8 weeks tracking exactly when these brands changed their formulas, who bought them, what they quietly swapped into the stick you press against your skin every single morning, and 5 of them are not going to like this video. We are talking about a product category worth over $25 billion globally, one that sits closer to your lymph nodes than almost anything else you put on your body. One that your doctor, your mother, and every television commercial since 1950 has told you to use without question. And we are talking about an industry that has spent decades running one of the most aggressive ingredient substitution playbooks in the entire personal care space, while the word natural on the label means almost nothing legally. Before we get into the brands, let me tell you what is actually at stake. The aluminum question is trending for a reason. In 2024, Health Canada formally proposed restricting aluminum chlorohydrate and aluminum hydroxychloride in aerosol antiperspirant sprays after determining that repeated inhalation may cause lung effects harmful to human health. That is not a wellness blogger making that call. That is a federal regulatory body. The FDA's own classification system still requires antiperspirants to list their active aluminum compounds under drug labeling rules, the same framework used for over-the-counter medications. That means the aluminum in your antiperspirant is not treated as a cosmetic ingredient. It is treated as a drug. Now that you know that, let's talk about what they put in the brands you've trusted for decades. Brand 1. Old Spice, the American legend sold twice. Old Spice was born in 1937, created by a man named William Lightfoot Schultz through his Schulten Company in Clifton, New Jersey. The original product was actually a women's fragrance, early American Old Spice, inspired by colonial-era recipes and packaged in a nautical design that became one of the most recognizable in American retail history. Within a year, Schultz launched the men's line, and for the next 50 years, Old Spice was the deodorant your grandfather kept on his dresser. It smelled like confidence. It smelled like a man who had done a full day's work. It was American, in the truest sense of the word. In 1990, Procter & Gamble acquired the brand. P&G, for those who don't know, is a Cincinnati-based corporation that also owns Tide laundry detergent, Pampers diapers, Gillette razors, and Charmin toilet paper. A company that makes toilet paper does not acquire a beloved American grooming brand because they love the smell of the ocean. They acquire it because it has 53 years of brand equity embedded in men's bathroom habits, and those habits are worth money. Here is what they put in Old Spice High Endurance Antiperspirant today. The active ingredient is aluminum zirconium tetrachlorohydrex GLE, a synthetic aluminum zirconium complex that physically plugs your sweat ducts to prevent perspiration. The FDA requires it to be listed as a drug because it alters a body function. The inactive ingredients include cyclopentasiloxane, a silicone-based carrier fluid that the European Chemicals Agency has flagged as a substance of very high concern for its environmental persistence, along with PPG-14-butyl ether, stearyl alcohol, C12-15-alkyl benzoate, and BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene, a synthetic antioxidant that the National Toxicology Program has listed as reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen based on high-dose animal studies. But here is what longtime users noticed first, and what sent them to Reddit by the thousands. In 2011, Old Spice reformulated several deodorant lines, dropping triclosan, a powerful antibacterial agent that had been a primary reason the product controlled odor so effectively. They switched from propylene glycol to dipropylene glycol. What followed was exactly what you'd expect. Men who had used Old Spice for 20 years found it stopped working. The scent was weaker. The stick felt different. They did not know why, because P&G did not tell them. They assumed their body chemistry had changed. They assumed they were getting older. The problem was the deodorant. Procter & Gamble sells over $1 billion worth of Old Spice products annually. The man who built that brand, William Lightfoot Schultz, ran a company with a single product and a vision for American grooming. What runs Old Spice now is a quarterly earnings call. Brand 2, Secret, the betrayal in the pink packaging. Secret deodorant launched in 1956 as the first antiperspirant designed specifically for women. It was a genuine innovation, a cream formula that addressed a hygiene need that had been largely ignored in the consumer market. For American women who grew up in the post-war era, Secret was a trusted constant. It was in their mother's medicine cabinets. It was in their college dorms. It was the brand their daughters reached for automatically. Procter & Gamble developed Secret internally. So this is not a story of acquisition. It is a story of what a corporation does to its own product over 7 decades when consumer attention drifts and ingredient costs get squeezed. The current Secret clinical strength formula contains aluminum zirconium tetrachlorohydrex geli at 20% concentration by weight. That is the maximum concentration the FDA allows for over-the-counter antiperspirants before requiring prescription status. 20%. You are applying the maximum legally permissible dose of an aluminum zirconium drug compound to your underarm skin every morning. The inactive ingredient list includes cyclopentasiloxane, petrolatum, stearyl alcohol, ppg-14 butyl ether, and synthetic fragrance, which under current FDA rules is a single listed ingredient that can represent dozens of undisclosed chemical compounds. Fragrance on a personal care label is a trade secret protection. Companies are not required to disclose what is inside it. There could be phthalates, endocrine-disrupting compounds linked in peer-reviewed research to hormonal interference. And you would never know, because the label just says fragrance. And then there is this. Consumers on forums and in Facebook groups as recently as April 2026 reported that both Secret Clinical and Dove Clinical products changed noticeably, texture, performance, feel, within the same short window. Both brands, incidentally, belong to competing consumer goods giants. Both changed around the same time. Your family deserves to know what clinical strength actually means. It means maximum aluminum. It does not mean superior safety. It does not mean better for your skin. It means the highest dose of a synthetic drug compound that federal law will allow without a prescription. Brand 3, Native, the $100 million sellout. This one is personal because Native was built specifically for people who were paying attention. Moise Ali founded Native Deodorant in San Francisco in 2015 as a direct-to-consumer brand with a proposition that was almost confrontational in its simplicity. Deodorant made from ingredients you can actually pronounce. The original formula used coconut oil, shea butter, baking soda, and tapioca starch. The website said, and I am quoting this directly, "Deodorant that isn't a chemistry experiment." The ingredient list was short enough to read in 10 seconds. Ali built the company from his apartment, and within 2 years it was reportedly generating $10 million a month in revenue on word of mouth alone. In November 2017, Procter & Gamble acquired Native for approximately $100 million in cash. Read that again. The company that makes Old Spice bought the brand that people switched to because they were fleeing Old Spice. P&G's vice president of North American Personal Care said at the time that Native was a great strategic match that would help them reach consumers who have preferences to avoid certain ingredients such as parabens and aluminum. In plain language, they saw a market of trust-conscious consumers they could not reach with their existing portfolio, so they bought the brand those consumers already trusted and brought it in-house. What happened next is documented in thread after thread on Reddit, in emails to the company, in one-star reviews that accumulated on Target's website. By early 2019, longtime Native customers were reporting the formula had changed, that the deodorant no longer performed the way it did before the P&G acquisition, scents were weaker, efficacy dropped. Some users reported rashes and irritation that had never occurred with the original formula. The company confirmed to at least one customer that the formula changed when Native was placed on Target shelves under P&G's distribution infrastructure. In June 2024, the National Advertising Division, a division of BBB National Programs, ruled that P&G should modify or discontinue Native's simple ingredients claim for deodorants and other products. They also ruled P&G should discontinue the Born in the USA claim entirely. The brand built on ingredient transparency was formally told by a regulatory body to stop using the word simple to describe its own ingredients. Moise Ali got $100 million. But your trust in that brand was worth something too, and it was sold in the same transaction. Brand 4, Tom's of Maine. The word natural has lawyers behind it. Tom and Kate Chappell founded Tom's of Maine in 1970 in Kennebunk, Maine. Tom was a Harvard Business School graduate who walked away from conventional corporate life to build something he believed in: personal care products made from real ingredients, free of artificial flavors, artificial fragrances, colors, and preservatives. The company's founding principles included human wellness, community engagement, and environmental accountability, written into the corporate structure before any of that was fashionable. For 36 years, Tom's of Maine was an independent company. It was the brand that health-conscious Americans chose when they wanted to feel good about what they put on their bodies. In 2006, Colgate-Palmolive, the company that makes Palmolive dish soap, Ajax cleaning powder, and Irish Spring body wash, purchased Tom's of Maine. Tom Chappell said publicly at the time that neither the company's philosophy nor its product formulas would change. Then, in 2020, a federal judge ruled that Colgate-Palmolive must face a class action lawsuit over misleading labeling of Tom's of Maine products as natural. The suit alleged that products marketed as natural contained propylene glycol, a synthetic compound also used in antifreeze and as an industrial solvent, along with sodium lauryl sulfate, a surfactant used in engine degreasers that the FDA categorizes as an irritant aluminum chlorohydrate, and sorbitol produced from corn syrup. A federal judge found that lawsuit credible enough to certify. That is not a fringe complaint. That is a case that cleared a federal certification standard. And then in late 2024, the FDA sent a warning letter to Tom's of Maine's manufacturing facility after the company reportedly ignored approximately 400 consumer complaints related to color, taste, and odor issues in their toothpaste. What the FDA found was contaminated water in the production process. Tom Chappell sold because Colgate offered a price he could not turn down. Every person who buys Tom's of Maine today thinking they are supporting an independent Maine family business is buying a Colgate-Palmolive product. The philosophy did not change. The ownership did. That is what matters. Brand 5, Mitchum. The ghost of a great formula. Mitchum has one of the stranger origin stories in American personal care. The brand traces back to a company in Paris, Tennessee, not Paris, France, called the Paris Toilet Company, later renamed the Golden Peacock Company. A man named Bill McNutt is credited with developing the antiperspirant formula that would become Mitchum. The company operated for 2 generations as a family business headquartered in a small Tennessee city, building a loyal customer base on one genuinely remarkable claim. The formula was so effective you could skip a day. That was not marketing. That was chemistry. The original formula used aluminum zirconium tetrachlorohydrex gly at 20% concentration, which was among the highest in the industry at the time. In January 1970, Revlon purchased Mitchum. Revlon, a cosmetics company whose primary business is lipstick, nail polish, and foundation, now owned an industrial-strength antiperspirant built by a Tennessee family over 2 generations. In 2007, Revlon overhauled the Mitchum line and changed the active ingredient from aluminum zirconium tetrachlorohydrex gly to aluminum sesquichlorohydrate at 25%. This was not a minor tweak. Aluminum sesquichlorohydrate has a different chemical structure and a different absorption mechanism. Longtime users noticed. The slogan, "So effective you can skip a day," was quietly retired in 2007. The same year the formula changed. That timing is not a coincidence. Visual note, side by side of old and current Mitchum active ingredient panels. Revlon filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in June 2022. The second time in 2 years the company sought bankruptcy protection. A brand built by a Tennessee family that pioneered the high-efficacy antiperspirant category is now owned by a cosmetics company that could not keep itself solvent. The original skip-a-day formula exists only in a limited advanced control line that most consumers do not know about because it sits buried beneath the rebranded standard product on the shelf. Here is the test that proves it. Go to your medicine cabinet right now and check your Mitchum label. If it says aluminum sesquichlorohydrate, you do not have the formula that made Mitchum what it was. You have what Revlon replaced it with when they decided the original chemistry was inconvenient. The transition. The deodorant industry is counting on your brand loyalty to override common sense. 4 corporations, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Colgate-Palmolive, Revlon, control the vast majority of shelf space in American pharmacies, and every one of them acquired brands built on trust they did not earn. Now let me show you the 5 brands that are actually worth your money. Good Brand 1. Primally Pure. The ingredient list you can read aloud. Primally Pure was founded by Bethany McDaniel, a registered dietitian and mother in California. The brand is independently owned. The entire deodorant line is built around one principle their founder states plainly: if you would not put it in your body, you should not put it on your body. The charcoal baking soda-free formula contains exactly 9 ingredients: organic arrowroot powder, organic coconut oil, magnesium hydroxide from Dead Sea salts, tallow from 100% grass-fed cows, organic beeswax, magnesium carbonate hydroxide, non-nano zinc oxide, kaolin clay, and activated charcoal. That is the complete list. No aluminum, no parabens, no synthetic fragrance, no cyclopentasiloxane, no BHT. The magnesium hydroxide does the work that aluminum does in conventional antiperspirants, but instead of blocking your sweat ducts, it creates a pH environment on your skin that inhibits the bacteria responsible for odor. You still sweat. Your body is supposed to sweat, but you do not smell. A 1.7-ounce stick runs approximately $14 to $16, which works out to roughly $8 to $9 per ounce. Spread that across a 90-day supply and you are looking at less than 10 cents a day more than a standard drugstore brand. That is less than a pack of gum per week to know exactly what you are pressing against your lymph node tissue every morning. Good Brand 2. Lume. The OBGYN built this. Lume was created by Dr. Shannon Klingman, an OBGYN who spent years studying bacterial odor in clinical settings before she developed a formula designed to address the biological root cause of body odor. Not cover it up, not block the sweat ducts, but actually eliminate the process that creates the smell. The active mechanism here is mandelic acid, an alpha-hydroxy acid derived from bitter almonds that has been used in clinical dermatology for decades. Mandelic acid creates a low pH environment on your skin that is genuinely inhospitable to the odor-causing bacteria that colonize the underarm area. Dermatologists have independently validated this mechanism in published research. Lume is aluminum-free, paraben-free, baking soda-free, sulfate-free, phthalate-free, and talc-free. The full ingredient list runs about 12 items. At approximately $15 for a 2.6-ounce stick, the cost per day is comparable to any clinical-strength conventional brand on the shelf next to it, but without the maximum dose aluminum compound. Here is the test that proves it. Lume markets itself as effective for 72 hours. Apply it Monday morning. Take a workout on Wednesday. That is the kind of claim a company does not make unless they are confident in the chemistry. Good Brand 3. EO Everyone Organics. Certified clean, not just claiming it. Brad Black and Susan Griffin Black founded EO Products in San Rafael, California in 1995, 30 years ago, on a commitment to aromatherapy-grade essential oils and certified organic manufacturing. The brand has never been acquired. It remains independently operated. EO's certified organic deodorant spray is certified organic under USDA standards, not made with organic ingredients, not natural. Certified through the Federal Organic Program by a third-party USDA-accredited certifier, meaning an outside auditor, not EO's own marketing team, verified that claim. The ingredient list is 3 items: ethanol, purified water, and an organic essential oil blend. That is the entire formula. EO also operates as a certified organic manufacturer, meaning their production facility itself is audited, not just the finished product. They have maintained that standard for 3 decades without a corporate parent making margin decisions above their heads. At roughly $10 to $12 for a 4-ounce spray, the cost per ounce is lower than most conventional brands sitting on the shelf next to it. Good Brand 4. Malin Goetz. The premium that is actually worth the price. Matthew Malin and Andrew Goetz founded their brand in New York City in 2004 with a clear approach. Take the best of pharmaceutical-grade science and pair it with genuinely natural active ingredients without treating those two things as opposites. The brand remains independent. It has not been sold to a major conglomerate. Their eucalyptus deodorant stick is aluminum-free and alcohol-free. It uses natural eucalyptus extract, With well-documented antiseptic and antibacterial properties, alongside citronellyl methylcroteinate, a naturally synthesized odor-neutralizing compound. No synthetic fragrance, no parabens, no silicone carriers. The formula is clear, leaves no residue, and is formulated for sensitive skin. It carries no gendered marketing and works for both men and women. At approximately $20 for a 2.6-ounce stick, this is the premium pick on this list. But you are paying for a product from a company that has not sold its formula to P&G, Unilever, or Colgate, and that choice has real value. Spread the cost across 90 days of daily use, and the premium over a drugstore brand is less than a single coffee. Good Brand 5, Schmidt's original formula, what it was before Unilever arrived, and what to watch for now. Jaime Schmidt started Schmidt's Naturals in Portland, Oregon in 2010, making deodorant in her kitchen from coconut oil, beeswax, arrowroot powder, and shea butter. What she built was a grassroots brand, sold at farmers markets, grown by word of mouth, tested by real people on their real skin. By 2017, Schmidt's had become one of the fastest-growing natural deodorant brands in the country. In December 2017, Unilever acquired Schmidt's Naturals. Unilever also owns Dove, Degree, Axe, and Vaseline. A company that owns Axe body spray does not buy a Portland kitchen deodorant because they share values. They buy it because the natural deodorant market was growing at 15% annually, and they needed a position in it. Here is where I will be precise with you because the evidence deserves that. The Schmidt's formula has not been publicly confirmed as dramatically changed the way Native's was. What is documented is that many users have reported rashes and irritation, but dermatologists have attributed much of that to the baking soda content, which was in the original formula and which is genuinely irritating for a subset of sensitive skin users. What has changed is ownership. What Schmidt's was under Jaime Schmidt, an independent Portland company built from a belief system, is not what it is under Unilever. If you use Schmidt's and it works for you, the ingredient list remains relatively clean compared to the 5 brands we covered in the first half of this video. But go in with your eyes open. You are buying a Unilever product now, and Unilever will make every formula decision that serves Unilever's margin first. The sensitive skin, baking soda-free formula is the version worth reaching for if you do use it. You opened a video about deodorant, and you got a lesson in corporate acquisitions, FDA drug labeling, and the difference between what a brand tells you it stands for and who actually owns it. That deodorant in your medicine cabinet has a history. Most of it was never printed on the label. Subscribe and turn on notifications because next week we are looking at a product category that is hidden even more behind the word natural than anything we covered today. I promise you it is already sitting in your bathroom. If you have already switched to one of the brands on the good list, or if you just found out your brand made the bad list, tell me in the comments below. Your family deserves to know, and so does mine.